morning. This week we are going to look at the idea of homeostasis, which is basically how our bodies maintain a nice, stable environment, which is going to be driven by two systems of the body, the nervous system and the endocrine system. Please make sure that you are looking at the book and going through the proper sections, because we're going to skip around a lot the next couple weeks. Okay, so homeostasis, this is this big word. What does it actually mean? Basically, what homeostasis is, it's all of the things that your body does, physically, chemically, electrically, to help make sure that all of your insides are working in a stable, ideal environment. Okay, so this is going to involve your body reacting to things that cause disruption in your body in order to get rid of that disruption. Okay, so the best example that I can give you of homeostasis, and your book talks about this, is your body temperature, right? Okay, so you have a body temperature. A normal body temperature is 98.6 degrees. This would be like the set point. This is the value that your body works ideally at, that your brain sets, right? Now, if something happens, you get a bacterial infection and your body starts to get a higher body temperature, okay, there are going to be things that your body does in order to try and bring that temperature back down to 98.6 degrees, because that's where it wants it to be, okay? So there are going to be sensors in your body. So, the stimulus would be that your body rises above the 98.6 degrees or 37 degrees C. There are sensors all over your body, like nerve cells, cells in your skin in your brain, that are going to monitor this body temperature. And when it notices that the body temperature is starting to rise, it's going to send a message to your nervous system, most likely, right? The temperature regulatory center in the brain, your central nervous system. And your brain's going to be like, oh, hey, man, the temperature's rising. We need to make sure that we bring it back down, because our body doesn't work the way it should when the temperature's too high, just like the body doesn't work the way it should if the temperature's too low. And so it's going to make a decision on what it's going to do. How is it going to bring that body temperature back down? And then it's going to send out a whole bunch of signals to the different bodies. So, for instance, to your sweat glands to tell you to start sweating, because when you sweat and that sweat evaporates off the surface of your skin, it brings your body temperature back down, okay? So you have, in this change that occurs, you have the stimulus, you have the sensors, you have the control, you have the effectors, you have your set point, which was 98.6 degrees, but it's a great example of how your body reacts when things start to go a little bit out of whack in order to bring it back into a normal state. And that's what homeostasis is. It's being in this normal, ideal state where all the chemical reactions can occur the way that they should, all the physical interactions can occur the way that they should, the electrical interactions can occur the way that they should, where everything is functioning the way that we want it to be, okay? And anytime that there is a change in that, your body's going to put into motion sensors, control, effector mechanisms in order to bring it back into that normal state. So homeostasis is just what your body does to maintain stability, okay? Temperature, pH, how much oxygen you have, how much carbon dioxide, I mean, you name it, and there are things that your body does in order to make sure that they are in the proper range. There are two systems. All of your systems play a role in homeostasis, but there are two that really kind of control this whole process. The first is the nervous system, so that's going to be the second system you're going to look at. Your nervous system is divided into the peripheral system and the central nervous system. So the central nervous system includes your brain and spinal cord. So these are going to kind of be the control factors here on what is happening and making decisions on what's happening and carrying out those decisions. But you also have a peripheral nervous system, and these are your peripheral nervous system is divided into the autonomic and the synaptic nervous system. So the autonomic controls all of the internal activities of your organs and glands. So things that you don't even have to think about. Think about it being automatic, okay? Your heart beats automatically. Your blood pressure is controlled automatically. Your ability to swallow is controlled automatically. And then the somatic controls are going to be those external actions of your skin and muscles. So the things that you can kind of control. Movement is a great example of that. Your autonomic is also divided into the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So this is kind of your fight or flight response. So the sympathetic is your arousing. So this is going to be, you know, the fight and flight part. Is going to be when it's going to be activated when you're really, really active or there's an emergency or something like that. Your parasympathetic is going to be your calming, okay? These are the things that are going to take place, for instance, when you're sleeping and your body's in a very calm sort of state. All right. So the nervous system it's considered the master control system. And because it works with electrical impulses that fly through your body, it can send messages and respond to things super, super quick, which is awesome because we want we want changes to be brought back to normal as quickly as we possibly can. So its job really is to monitor changes, it's to decide what changes need to be made, and then to basically send out the bat signal to say, hey, these are the changes that you need to do in order to bring the body back into a normal state. We also have the endocrine system, which kind of chemically helps out the nervous system or works with the nervous system in order to, again, maintain this idea of a stable internal environment, to maintain homeostasis. So there are all kinds of endocrine glands in your body, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the pineal gland, the thyroid. You can kind of see where these are all located. And these, unlike the nervous system, which works by electrical signals, these work by chemical signals. So these different glands will secrete different chemicals as a response. So its effect is a little bit slower because we got to get those chemicals traveling through the bloodstream. But just as important in terms of maintaining or causing a response to bring a disruption back into a normal state. The best example that I can give you of the endocrine system working to maintain homeostasis is going to be when you eat something. So after you eat something, the amount of sugar in your bloodstream rises, okay? And this is not a good thing, right? This is considered, it's a normal process because obviously your blood is, all of the nutrients and the sugars and things that you're eating are going to go from your food, be absorbed through your small intestines and go into your bloodstream. But it causes the blood sugar levels to increase in your blood. What we want is we want the cells to get that blood sugar. They want that sugar because it helps them make energy. So what happens is that you eat something, your sugar levels in your blood start to increase, your body's going to monitor that, and it's going to say, whoa, we got an increase in blood sugar, so it's going to send a message to your pancreas to spit out some insulin. And what insulin does is insulin basically opens up tiny little doorways in your cells that allows the cells to take in the sugar, which they will use to make energy, and we all want energy, and get that sugar out of the bloodstream. And so when insulin is released, our blood sugar goes back to a normal level. Okay. This is all controlled. Insulin is a chemical. So it, again, is helping us maintain a normal blood sugar level, but instead of doing it by electrical signals like the nervous system does, it does it using a chemical called insulin. So diabetics who don't produce insulin, their homeostasis is disrupted. They actually have to take insulin manually because their pancreas can't make it in some cases in order for their body to maintain homeostasis. And what happens is that anytime your homeostasis is disrupted, if you can't bring it back down into the acceptable normal range, then that can lead to death. That can lead to an organism not being able to survive. If your body temperature gets too high and you can't bring it down, that can lead to death. If your blood sugar gets too high and you can't bring it down, that can lead to death. So homeostasis is really important for all living things, not just human beings, but every single living thing, because if homeostasis is disrupted, you might not be able to survive, and we don't want that. So the nervous system and the endocrine system are kind of going to be the masterminds in terms of telling the rest of the body and the rest of the organs what they need to be doing in order to make sure that our bodies are running in a normal, safe, effective type of way, okay, in the most efficient way that it can be. So those are the things that you're kind of going to learn about this week. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. We're winding down to the end of the semester. There's only a couple weeks left, guys. I know you can do it, so keep up the great work. If you need anything, do not hesitate to ask. Have a fantastic week.